Hey guys, welcome to Conversations with Shan. Today I want to talk about pride. I feel like so many of us carry pride. So many of us have dealt with pride, indirect or direct. The youth, most definitely, and this is really what it's about, this video about the young people carrying pride. And what brought this conversation was a clip that I saw on TikTok where there was a guy and he put out this scenario with him and his brother and another actor, and they're walking, two brothers are walking, a guy barges his little brother. In the first clip he stops and he's telling my guy, listen, that's my brother you're barging into, watch yourself, and he pulls out a knife. Later on that day, the younger brother is walking home by himself. He bucks into the same boy and he's like, do you remember me? Another guy steps in, gets stabbed because of the altercation that happened earlier on. Then he shows the same scenario, guy barges his brother, but he doesn't respond in a negative way. He's like, you know what, it's cool, my bad. The boy spuds him, he goes about his day. Now there's a lot of things that are happening here. One is, yes, my guy was in the wrong and shouldn't have been barging. He should have been the one to apologise. He should have been the one to acknowledge what he done. He didn't. He had pride. But the older brother was like, you know what, cool. But in the first clip, he didn't. He did pride with pride. And what that ended up with, someone ended up dead. And a lot of the youth today, because of pride, because of emotions, because of the fact that they don't want to look like a punk, or they feel like real strength is, you know, fighting back. And you know the best way to fight back sometimes is to actually walk away, knowing that, you know what, this person wants a reaction. You want a response. You want violence and violence, bloodshed, but who suffers? You know, so, and it's not even just with the roads, it's with us as adults. We carry so much pride in relationships, in friendships, you know, in work environments, in our day-to-day life. Someone says something, does something that we don't like, you know, we're at it like cats. And it's just like, when do we know that pride comes before a fall, so there has to be a time where we think to ourselves, you know what, forget pride. We're not even going to allow pride to enter here. Yes, I could respond, but it takes more strength to not respond. And I really want to speak to the youth in the sense of, strength is knowing that this situation is wrong. Someone's done me something and I could respond. It could go this way. But real strength is knowing that it could, but you don't. Why? Because your life carries meaning, purpose, and you will never get to have a lineage, you will never get to have your future if you carry pride and allow pride to be what you run with. You have to step out of, not every action needs a reaction. Sometimes you can let it go. Don't matter if they're calling you a punk. Don't matter if your people are looking at you sideways. If they're looking at you sideways, they were never your friends in the first place, because they would want you to live. They would want you to see another day. They would want you to see another birthday. They're going to want to see you so that they can chill with you, talk with you, dream with you, have big visions with you. And if they don't want that and they don't see that for you, they are not your friends. They're still stuck in pride. And you got to understand as well, as adults, we carry a lot of pride. Our kids are carrying on. We cuss them out clean and whatever we do, but we're not actually stopping to see what the root of the problem is. A lot of us are carrying ADHD, autism, traumas, all of this stuff. Then I must say, for the mums, single mums as well, you know, I've been guilty of it, where we put so much pressure and baggage on our children, not realizing that that's not their baggage to carry. It don't matter what you've gone through. It don't matter what your experiences are. That's a you problem. Your children are children, and they need to be raised as such, so that when they're older, they are not carrying pride. They're not carrying all these emotions and heavy weights where they feel that they have to go on the streets and act bad or be a particular way, because at home they feel weak, they feel broken, they feel alone, you know, and they don't have anywhere to turn. And then what happens is we're dealing with all these young boys being murdered and getting killed, and even the girls. Because here's the thing, you're gonna pick up we want bad boys. If bad boys are in bad situations, what do you think's gonna happen when you're around them? You know, we're seeing all this tragedy, and we're seeing all this murder and all this killing, as if we can bring back people that we've murdered, or we can bring back people, you know, to life. And I'm talking about murder also with our mouths, the things that we say to one another, how we speak to one another, how we cuss each other out, how we treat each other because of pride, how we talk to our children because of pride, you know, rather than just backing down and being like, let's talk about this. Let's get back to sitting down around the table as families, talking and discussing and expressing how we feel in a mature manner, rather than we're all shouting, we're all angry. And I must say this to my single mums as well. No matter how you're feeling about the father, no matter how you are feeling about whatever you've got going on, your sons are not responsible. They are not responsible for the damage, the pain, the hurt, and the anger that you feel towards the dad. That's got nothing to do with your sons, nothing to do with your daughters. When you look at your children, you have to see them pure, because you created them. God created them, you gave birth to them. And no matter if they look like the dad, no matter if they've got mannerisms like the dad, who cares? That has to go out the window. You cannot treat your children any type of way, because God gave you those children to protect, to watch over. You have to answer to that when you die. We think that when we die, that's it. That's it. We're just going to die and live happy ever after in the spiritual realm. No, we're going to pay for our sins one way or the other. So we have to know that these children are delicate, and we have to speak life into them even when you are broken. There was one lady rapping that she was saying that she's been on the edge, and I think I spoke about this in one of my other videos, where she said that she was on the edge, but she's had to speak someone off it. And how many times have you been broken, hurt, down, depressed, lonely, and you're like, mate, I'm kind of finished with this. But yet you still have to speak life. And every day we wake up with life, we need to speak life, walk in life. Forget pride. Pride is not what we need right now. Right now, what we need to do is come together in love. And, you know, most importantly, I feel like we even need to all come together to put money together. We're doing all these GoFundMes. We need to do GoFundMes to open up more youth centres. Where we have got counsellors in the youth centres. We have got people in there that are teaching these children to fight, not physically, but mentally, emotionally, knowing and spiritually, to know that, you know what, not every war is a physical war. Some wars, and most wars, starts in here. They start in here, and they manifest into something bigger if you don't deal with it in here. We have to start in here, you know, and it's hurting me to see it. It's hard to watch, you know. There has to be a stop sign. There has to be, and we're going to stop it now. I feel like if you have a vision for the youth, create it so we can start saving lives for real. Let's not talk about it anymore. Let's not, you know, cuss out the youth, because they are broken kids that have turned into teenagers and may never grow to be adults if we don't install in them now the love, support, the understanding, and teaching them that pride isn't love. Pride is not protection. Pride is not saving you. It's killing you, you know. And yeah, what I don't know what else to say. It's just hey, let's love our children, and not just the ones that we've given birth to, but also the ones that we see daily and we see that they're hurting and they're broken. Let's speak wisdom into them. Don't matter what you're going through, it don't matter what your experience is, it don't matter. If you don't like the mum, you don't like the dad, so you don't want to be there because you two have got problems. Who gives a damn? Who cares? That's you two's problems. Whatever you got, and I say you two's, it's for all of us. This separation has to stop. We have to become one. We have to become one because we have to become one for our children. Because when we were in the bed together, we was one, making one. So, or two, you know, if you've had twins. So it's more importantly, what's more important is to focus on the bigger picture. Because if we can give life, we need to save lives. Not just our own, but our children's and other people's children's. Because we are all a family. We're all of the same bloodline as far as I'm concerned. You know, if we're serving one master, then we must all be his children. So, yes, there are wicked people in the world, but we have to teach our children love. And we teach them love by being love. No matter what we've gone through, no matter what we feel about whoever, whenever. You know, don't put that on your child. And then they grow up suffering, and then they've got all this built up tension and anger, and they're responding in a way that takes their life, and then we're bent over, you know, at the casket crying for our children that we'll never have back. You know, and I'm not blaming the parents all, but everything transpires, you know. One little water, when the water drops on a plant, on the seed, sorry, it starts to grow and develop. And at first you don't see it because it's underground, but as it starts growing, it becomes bigger and bigger. And if we don't nip it in the bud from when it's in the roots, then hey, we've got bigger things to suffer, bigger problems, you know. And I just want to close in prayer, and I just pray, Father, that every heart that hears and really watches this video really understands the meaning and the presence and the power of love, that they will understand that we need to speak life into our children. We need to speak love into our children. We need to allow pride to disappear and allow love to fester and grow, you know, to let go of the anger, the past, and to see the present. And the present is love saves, you know, pride kills. Deliver us, heal us, forgive us, and bring us to life. In the name of Jesus, I pray. And I do apologise for my children in the background up there shouting. They will be getting told off in a minute. But have a blessed week, guys.